Transportation is one of the biggest concerns of older adults and caregivers, whether it concerns about safe driving, vehicle safety, or finding resources. But did you know there's a safe mobility website to help you navigate through all these questions and the transportation network? Kimber Sen-Per is here to tell us more. And Kimber, thank you so much. We've just been chatting that, gosh, transportation is so important because, you know, here in Central Florida, you have to have good transportation to get anywhere. Absolutely. So we're going to cover 3 subjects here, and the first are the keys to achieving that safe mobility. So understanding the needs is really paramount.
It's absolutely key. The very first thing, as a driver, you have been taught all your lives to prepare. Make sure that you are educated in the laws and everything that governs you, but believe it or not, it does not end. As you start to age, you definitely need to make sure that you are aware of how the changes in your body are also going to affect your mobility.
Absolutely.
And that is the key. It's just being prepared. It doesn't have to be a scary thing. It could be a very inviting thing because you could look at it as a privilege to be able to give away the keys if you need to.
Oh, absolutely, because you're right. As we age, we think about those things. Our dexterity may not be what it used to be, our eyesight, our hearing, all of those kind of personal things that come into play.
Absolutely. I think it's really important to make sure that not only is, because sometimes we don't see ourselves the way other people see us, you know? And so it's very important that others are just as aware of our loved ones who may not be willing or ready to accept that I'm getting a little bit beyond my comfortability on the road.
Right, and we're going to touch on that. The second one is be proactive, and that's really, really important. You kind of get ahead of the game before you get to that point.
So the thing here is, yes, I may not be willing to give away my keys, and I may be years away from doing so. The sooner you accept creating a plan of action, the better off you're going to be. Just like you plan for retirement, plan for how you're going to get about in the event that you're not able to be the person behind the wheel. Stay behind the wheel as long as you can, but when it's time to give it up, if you plan, it'll be a pleasure and not an issue. So one of the ways of doing that, there are plenty of resources that are out there for you.
Okay, you know, maybe see about if there's other types of transportation, not just you personally driving.
Absolutely.
So that's part of the being proactive.
That's part of the being proactive, and there are wonderful tools that you can honestly access on the beautiful website that we're talking about, where you can actually take a quiz. To see if I am falling into that area where I should not be behind the wheels. And that can happen early and not later in your progression of an illness or a situation. Start to take the car to the theater by using a hired driver. Then you're giving up that control on your terms. My organization, Community Connections Transportation, Star Transportation, provides you to age with the program. So we start our use at 50 and beyond. So you don't get old, you just grow old gracefully.
Absolutely. I like the way you say that. Now, the last part, and we're talking about this, planning for your future needs. You may be great right now and things are fine, but have that plan in place.
Have the plan in place. Why? Because most people lose the ability to drive in an instant. I mean, like you go to the doctors and you find out, oh my gosh, my eyesight isn't great. Or you go to get your driver's license renewed. And you can't pass the eye test.
Oh, goodness.
And
that's a wake-up call, I
that's
imagine.
a huge wake-up call. That's a huge wake-up call because whether it's cataracts, which is completely able to be rectified,
that can be treatable,
but you're going to lose the ability to drive until you're able to get that taken care of. And so that's one of the areas where we get it in an instance. But guess what? If you've put together a nice plan, you're in a position go, well, I've done my research and I know that, you know, I could do public transportation here,
Sure.
paratransit. That takes a little bit of time to get qualified for. So go ahead and put the applications in if you're starting to see some things, so that you at least have that. And then there's private car service, which is like my service, which is Star. And you use that service when you need it. Not because sometimes you just don't want to drive because it's hectic out there.
And there's no place to park.
And then, going to the theater downtown, no place to
See?
park. I got to pay $10 for parking anyway. Might as well hire a car.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. And in fact, Kimber, the Safe Mobility Florida website is a treasure trove of transportation resources to help consumers understand, be proactive, and plan for their current and future transportation needs. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.